Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Freaky Tales on this beautiful Wednesday evening. I'm not going to be able to be here on Friday, so we're taking care of part 2, back by popular demand, the Antichrist 666 part 2 tonight. I didn't think we were going to get that much feedback. We mentioned that if you guys wanted a part 2 of Sunday's episode, put it in the comments. Not necessarily the live chat, but the comments. And once the YouTube is up, and we got over 100 comments for part 2. So I called up Rick and I said, hey, what do you think? And he said, let's do it. You know, it's needed. Look, we're living in the end times, and I believe that this is a freaky subject. I've had people DM me, Tony, get back to the spooky stuff. You know what? It's close to Halloween. You know, we will, but I have to finish this. This is a topic that I didn't want to do. I wanted to stay clearly away from it, to be honest with you. But you guys were requesting it, so here we are. So I want to thank everybody in the live chat, everybody who's not on the live chat, everybody who liked, comment, subscribed, everybody who shared. I want to thank our moderator, Rita Castillo. Thank you very, very, very much. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce somebody who's no stranger to this podcast, Ricky J. Ricky, how are you?
Good, Tony. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I see you got the 5 o'clock shadow thing going on, man.
Yeah, dude. I gotta get rid of it soon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like that?
It comes and goes. I get lazy.
Mine like comes, but like, you know, since I'm older now, I get like the gray stuff. And I don't want to be looking like or feeling like Kenny Rogers or somebody old or something like that, bro. Like, I ain't trying to speed up the process and like just trying to look old, even though they do like me scruffy.
There you go.
But other than that, your thoughts, your personal thoughts on Sunday's episode of the Antichrist episode, and you know that I really didn't want to cover, you know.
Yeah. You called me multiple times telling me you didn't want to do it.
Right.
I enjoyed it, but I love this stuff. It was a lot of information. I understand how it can be an earload if you've never really understood or read anything in regards to the Bible or Revelation, but I think you did a good job at breaking it down for people.
Yes. And we're going to try to, I said in the first one, we're going to try to keep it shallow. You know, when you go to the beach and you go into the water and it goes up to your ankles?
I do.
The water pulls back and it goes like you're sinking in a little bit.
I understand.
Tonight, we're going to go a little bit deeper, maybe up to our calves.
Okay.
I'm going to try to keep it still shallow for you guys, because I still had some people that told me a lot of stuff went over their head, but it was still interesting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of information, and it does go deep. So
yes. Now, for those of you that are probably wondering why we're using the Bible, because this is the only source where you can get this type of information, and it talks about the Antichrist or the anti-Messiah. That, in my opinion, this is just me, I believe he's alive right now, and I believe he's just waiting to take center stage. We might get into what's holding him back right now, because that's a big question. What's holding him back right now from taking center stage? Okay. We're also going to talk a little bit about religion. And when I say religion, because religion is man-made, that will be towards the end. We're going to talk about 2 witnesses. We're going to talk about the 144,000 12,000 from each tribe. What tribes? We'll get into that. Okay. But for those of you guys that didn't get to see Friday and are just tapping into, Sundays, and are just tapping in today, we encourage you to go see Sundays, or else you possibly will not understand tonight's episode. It was all based on Revelation 13, chapter 13. Okay. I'll be reading from my phone, out of the New King James. This is my Bible. If I recommend a study Bible, this is the Nelson's Study Bible. Okay. New King James. It's like reading the King James, but they took out the these, thous, and nays, and thys, and stuff like that, which I like. I like those words. I remember, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Matthew 6:33 was the first scripture I ever learned. And by the way, this is my study Bible still. And as you can see, my book of Genesis is portable. I've been studying out of this one for years. So I'll put that aside and I'll read it from my, let me move this cup out the way, from my Bible. Now, Revelation 13, in case you guys want to read along. Okay. And I'm just going to give you guys an overview, like a quick recap, Rick, of what we touched on. We talked about a beast coming out of the sea. Mm-hmm. We talked about a dragon. Then we talked about another beast, which is the false prophet.
Correct.
So we talked about the Antichrist. We talked about the dragon, which is Satan. And we talked about a false prophet that deceives the world. Now, we're just going to read a little bit of chapter 13 just to give you guys a quick recap, and then we're going to move on to chapter 14. So we're going to bounce back and forth on 14 and chapter. Well, I'll tell you when we get there. I don't want you guys to run ahead. So let's go ahead and read from verse 13. No, it's verse 13. No, verse 11. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. It didn't say it was a lamb, like a lamb, and spoke like a dragon. So in other words, this is a religious figure that he's going to look religious. He's going to look like a man of God, but he speaks like a dragon. Okay. There's a difference. I know a couple of people like that. They look nice.
Yeah.
So, and he exercises all the authority of the first beast. The first beast is the Antichrist, who is Satan possessed. He is not demonically possessed. He is Satan possessed. Once again, Satan is not omnipresent, meaning he cannot be everywhere at the same time. Only God is omnipresent. So for this time, Satan will put himself into this man, the Antichrist. Okay, so now we're talking about the false prophet. Once again, verse 12, and he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence and causes the earth. So this is something is going to happen globally. And those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, which is the Antichrist, whose deadly wound was healed. So the Antichrist, as we read on Sunday, will suffer something that looks like a mortal wound or a mortal wound. He's either going to fake come back or he's going to be literally resurrected. But I say all that because the whole world is going to believe that he was actually resurrected. Okay? Isn't it funny? And I just want to say this, that when Jesus, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, when he talks about the resurrection, nobody believed them.
Yeah.
But they're going to believe this one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So now, verse 13, he performs great signs so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Verse 14. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. So now, I want you to pay attention to this little part right here. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth. So he's going to deceive man. Matthew 24, disciples come to Christ. What would be the sign right before you return? Make sure that nobody deceives you.
Oh, wow.
And he said it 3 times in Matthew 24. Make sure that nobody deceives you. So deception will be in the last days. Okay. So here he's forcing these people make an image. This is the false prophet of the Antichrist so that the whole world can worship him. Okay. At any time you can interject since this is a recap.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 15. So the false prophet, he was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed.
Reminds me of another story in the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't worship this image, you're going to be killed. So can we say you're going to be forced to worship?
I think so.
Okay. You're going to be forced to worship. There's a religion right now, the fastest growing enforced religion in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. That will not allow you to question the word, their word. We'll get to that towards the end. Okay. And believe me, I'm not trying to offend anybody. You guys wanted a freaky part 2. Here it is. Okay. Verse 16. He, who's he? The Antichrist, the false prophet. He calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now, you know what? I'm going to read to you guys something that somebody wrote in the comments, okay? And I think this was a good one. His name is 70V77. Interesting. I hope you're able to shed light on what the beast is. It is the number of his name. So whoever wrote that, you somewhat know, okay?
That's an idea.
I can pick up on that, okay? I may look dumb, but I'm not dumb, okay? So either you're going to receive a mark on your hand
Or your forehead.
Okay, now, I don't want to jump ahead, but I've been seeing this a lot online. So I'm just going to say it's an online hearsay. It might be real. But the UK announced, if I'm correct, that they're going to they're going to enforce electronic IDs.
Honestly, I haven't heard that, but I feel like we have that now more than we think without even realizing it. Like a lot of states, you can have your ID on your phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that a lot of that stuff is getting implemented. We just don't realize it for what it can be one day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like unlocking your phone with your thumbprint.
Yes, exactly. Now, verse 16, here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. We're going to break down the Greek 666 in a little bit, okay? I learned this in 2000. And you know who taught it to me?
Who?
You're going to be surprised. An ex-Muslim.
Oh, really?
He told me that when he read the book of Revelation in Greek and he saw the Greek 666, I believe it's chi, ki, stigma. You're going to be shocked. Okay?
Was he a Christian now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he was an apostate.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to go to chapter 14. And this is the reason why I have to bring this up. Now, some of the verbiage you guys probably won't understand because you guys probably have never read the Old Testament. The Old Testament and the New Testament go in hand. And I'm going to say it again, and you guys can rewind it later. The Old Testament is the New Testament concealed. The New Testament is the Old Testament revealed. Okay? Verse 1. Okay, now we're talking about 144,000 Jews. Okay,
Yeah. No.
we're not talking about 144,000 Jehovah's Witnesses. I have to make that straight. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but Charles Taze Russell lied to you guys. The guy who made up the Jehovah's Witness religion. Okay, I know because I studied it. As a matter of fact, the first Bible that was given to me to study was the World Translation of the Holy Scriptures, that's what they called their Bible.
Yeah.
Okay.
New World Translation.
New World Translation of the Holy Scripture, something like that.
Yeah.
Charles Taze Russell put it together. He started the whole Jehovah Witness movement. They don't call it church. They call it the Kingdom Hall.
That was your first Bible?
Yes.
Wow.
And I came across a scripture that said, ask anything in my name and I might do it. And it shocked me. I was like, what the heck? I'm going to be honest with you, Rick. At that point, I lost hope. And I said, Mike, what do I got to do? Okay. So, and eventually I studied the King James 1611.
Who gave you that first Bible, or did you buy it?
No, somebody gave it to me, and I don't care to say his name.
Yeah.
And he didn't know. Honestly, he didn't know. But now, the reason why I bring this up is because I shared on Sunday that a preterist is somebody who believes the book of Revelation was written between 65 and 68 AD, and it was fulfilled at the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. Okay? So they feel that this has already passed. A futurist like me who believes that the book of Revelation was written in 95 AD, way after 70 AD, 25 years later, believe that this still yet has to happen. Now, if it still yet has to happen, the 144,000 haven't been chosen yet. So these guys that are going door to door, hola, you're not it. You're not it. You've been deceived.
Sad truth. It's not a sad truth. This is the truth.
Okay. Verse 1, then I looked, John the Revelator wrote this. Now, we shared that he was on the Isle of Patmos.
Yes.
Okay. He was thrown there for the word of his testimony. In other words, he wouldn't be quiet about the word of God. Okay. So where's the Isle of Patmos so people can have at least a better vision of where he's writing from?
Yeah. The Isle of Patmos is located in the Aegean Sea, part of Greece's. There's an island group in the southeastern area of Greece. So it's situated off the coast of modern day Turkey. And it's about 22 miles southwest of Samos and roughly 40 miles west of Miletus.
Okay. So we could say roughly it's in between Turkey and Greece.
Yeah,
okay?
It's off the coast, yeah.
Okay. So this is where he's writing from. God appears to him and gives him the revelation of what to write.
And you mentioned it, but can you just mention again why he was sent there?
I said it because of the word of his testimony. In other words, he was preaching. And rumors had it that they tried to kill him, that they tried to throw him in boiling oil. Yeah. Oil. That's what tradition tells us.
Yeah.
I don't have any scripture for that, but he wouldn't boil. He wouldn't die. So they threw him in the island by himself. And they said, get out of here, stay there by yourself, grow old and die.
Yeah.
Now you can't talk to anybody. But this is where my preaching comes in. And I'm trying to keep it freaky. They thought they got rid of him.
Correct.
And God appeared to him. Doesn't matter where you're at, you're not unreachable.
Correct.
Okay? Let that one marinate. Okay? Verse 2, and I heard a voice from heaven listen to this, like the voice of many waters and like the voice of loud thunder. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps. Water and music.
Sounds so cool. Huh?
Yeah. Wow.
Of many water. I just picture like waves crashing.
And he's trying to use the best that he can to write it down.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and listen to this. They sang as it were a new song before the throne, before 4 living creatures and the elders, and no one could learn the song except the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth. Redeemed, like in other words, they were bought, just like you were bought at a price. Okay?
Yeah.
The price of, Okay. these were the ones that were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to God and to the Lamb, and in their mouth was found no deceit, for they are without fault before the throne of God. Okay? So these are ones that, what would you say, were virgins, firstborns? In other words, they were the first, like you are the first, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second, no.
Okay. Well, if you were the firstborn of your parents, you would be considered the firstborn.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what these are. Now, what I want to get to is the names that were given to them. Okay, right here. I hope I didn't lose my spot. But what I wanted to get to was the name, because I'm building something here to tie it into the Antichrist or the anti-Messiah. Okay, we are in 14. Let me see. Reaping and sowing. Okay. I hope I didn't lose my place.
14, verse 5.
Right, verse 5. These were the ones, okay, the first fruits. But I'm trying to find the verse where it says that these men had God's name on their forehead. Okay.
Oh.
These men followed, saying in a loud voice, if anyone worship the beast. Okay, let me pick up from verse. I'm sorry, guys.
Bear with us, guys. It's a lot of information.
Because I want to go over the name of God that they had on their foreheads. If you happen to see it on verse, say it to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to read it.
On verse 4, we're in chapter 14, guys. Okay, no. Mark of the names. Same. Blessed are those who the Lord say. I'm sorry, guys. I should have wrote this note. I never take notes. I just usually go off the top of my head when it comes to this stuff, because I know this stuff so well, and for some reason now all of a sudden it's not coming to me here. But let me go over here, and I saw the marvelous plagues. Why don't you Google the 144,000 with God's name on their foreheads on Revelation?
Yep.
And then give it to me. I don't want to say that it was chapter 11 with the two witnesses. 14 what? No,
that's the first.
Yeah. 144,000, his name. Anything coming to you?
No.
Okay, let me go to chapter 11, because I may have students. Okay, close. Oh, man, I hate dead air like this. Okay. Well, what these 144,000 are going to do, they are going to preach for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
42 months. Okay. And that was their purpose. That's why they were redeemed. Nothing's coming up on your end? Go ahead and read it to us. It's not working? Okay.
Revelation 7:4-8.
In the witness of the prophecy and disclosing. If anyone harms proceeds. Go ahead.
It says, and I heard the number of those who were sealed. 144,000 of all the tribes and of the children of Israel were sealed. Of the tribe of Judah, the 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 were sealed.
Okay. So those are the people that are be sealed. So 12,000 from each tribe.
Correct.
Of Israel. So look, I'm not trying to be funny, but that debunks the whole Jehovah's thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it clearly says where they're from.
It clearly says where they're from. But now I'm missing one scripture, because I had to break down the name that they have. Were killed and afraid and glory. I cannot believe that I cannot find that one scripture. Give me a second, guys. Let me see. If you find anything, Rick, let me know. Let me go back to 14.
Okay.
Okay, talk to verse 14. 600. What are you looking up?
I typed in exactly what you said, but nothing's coming up.
Did you put Revelation on there?
Yeah.
Okay, follow. Oh my God! Let me see if there's Mark. I cannot believe this. 144,000. Okay, here we go. You know what? I read it and I missed it. That's how much I have going on. I'm going to read it again. It's in Revelation chapter verse 1. Alex was right. I read it and passed over it. Okay. Once again, verse 1. I just want to touch on the name because I think it's important. Somebody in the comments asked me, what is God's name? And I think it's important that we just cover that really quick, okay? So then I looked, and behold, a lamb standing on Mount Zion, with him 144,000, having his father's name written on their foreheads. Written on their foreheads. So now, what is the father's name? When Moses in the book of Exodus was told to go to Egypt and to tell Pharaoh, let my people go, he said, who do I tell them sent me?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I am that I am. That's the English version of it.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, if you can put up the God's name so that people can see it, this is Hebrew, and I'll read it to you guys. Yes, God's name. It's the brown one, not the witnesses. Before that, bro. It's one of the second ones, I believe. Go ahead, bro. The one before that. That one. Okay. So now you look at the letters and they read from right to left, not left to right. There's the Yud, He, Vav, He. Okay, now these have no vowels.
Yeah.
Okay, these have no vowels. This is the name of God. Now, if we have a recording of Moses saying his name, that's the only way we can say it. Nobody knows how to say God's name, the name that he gave to Moses on Mount Sinai. Nobody knows how to say his name. We know how to spell it, the Yud He Vav He. Now bring up the Aleph Bet. Now in English, we use the Greek alphabet.
Yeah.
In Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, this was the Aleph Bet that had only 22 letters. Okay. If we start from the left, we have Aleph, Bet, Dalet, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, and then Vav. Now, just a side note, that Vav, look at what it equals to, a 6, right?
Yeah.
That's what they say is on the monster can.
Okay.
The Vav, Vav,
I
Vav.
see it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so there's no vowels. They have no vowels. So
Yeah.
the reason why I'm sharing this with you, now put God's name back on there. Take this one down. Since there's no vowels, after the Yud, you know what they did? They took an A from Adonai. Adonai, which means Lord.
Yeah.
So they put it after the Yud.
And that's just them trying to piece together what they think Moses said.
What they think. Okay. Then after, if I'm correct, after the Hey, they took the E from Elohim, which is God. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Okay.
So they added 2 vowels. And you know what they came up with? Yahweh.
Yahweh.
That's what they came up, Yahweh, okay?
Yeah.
So some people say maybe it was pronounced Yahweh, Yahovah, Jehovah.
Yahovah.
Yeah. They don't know. Let me give you a better example. My full name is Antonio, but everybody calls me Tony, okay? Spelled my name without a vowel, which is take the O out. So you have a T, N, Y. You don't know how to pronounce my name until you start adding vowels. So let's just say, let's add an I. Maybe his name was Tiny.
Yeah.
No, let's add an A. Maybe it's Tanny. Let's add an O. Maybe it was Tony. Or let's just add a vowel. And that's what they did with the name of Yahweh.
Okay. So they just pulled from Adonai and Elohim.
Yes. So we don't know how to say the name of, other than in English when we say I am. And I don't want to go into my teaching mode, but let's move on. Okay, you can leave that up there. But that was important because that's the name that these 144,000 are going to have written on their foreheads the name of God.
The crazy part is still going to just be written, though.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm building back up to the Antichrist, so please bear with me. I'm trying to keep it shallow and I'm trying to explain it correctly. So give me some time, because keep in mind, I didn't want to do this. So let's go to the two witnesses. Bring up the two witnesses. Yeah, take that one down. Right there. There you go. That's Revelation 11. Okay. These two people are very, very interesting, and I'm gonna tell you why. Do you have the two witnesses, the information that I gave you that you can read to us? Go ahead and read that to us.
So the two witnesses are figures from the book of Revelation in the Bible who prophesy for 1,260 days. That's 1,260 days.
300, which in other words, 3.5 years.
3.5 years. And are empowered by God to perform miraculous signs. Interpretations of their identity vary, with some believing that they are actual people like Moses and Elijah, while others view them as symbolic representations of the church or Old and New Testaments.
See, Old and New Testament or the church.
Or the church.
That's where they spiritualize the scriptures.
Yeah.
Okay. When these are two literal men that are coming.
Correct.
Okay. Continue. I think there's one more, isn't there?
Yeah. In a significant part of their story, they are killed.
Yes.
By the Antichrist.
Right. Okay. Let's stop there.
Okay.
So they preached for 3.5 years.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. These are the two witnesses that are going to tell the Jewish people what tribes they're from.
Wow.
Because I said on Sunday, no Jew knows what tribe they're from. In fact, now they just all encompass them together and could just call them Jews. You could only been a Jew if you were from the tribe of Judah. If you were from the tribe of Dan, Danonite. The Apostle Paul, a Benjamite. The tribe of, Joseph, you were from the tribe of Joseph. Today, they just call them all Jews. Jesus was considered a Jew because he was from the tribe of Judah. Okay? So for people that didn't know that, hey, if you don't know, well, now you know.
You want me to read off the two individuals that they think they could be other than Moses and Elijah?
No, just read it without saying names. I mean, give the names, but don't give the names before you read.
Okay, so in the Old Testament, a significant part of their story, they're killed, right?
Right.
And we think that they're literal individuals. Many believe the witnesses are two specific people who will be empowered by God.
Yeah. Moses
and Elijah is a common theory, and or Enoch and Elijah.
Right. Now, people want to say, what about the book of Enoch? What about the book of Enoch? Okay, what about the book of Enoch? Okay. Yeah. First and foremost, there's very little of Enoch in the scriptures. He's found in the book of Genesis. And it says that he was a faithful man, and one day God just took him. And that's pretty much what it just says.
Alive?
Took him alive.
Okay.
So if you want to use the word, raptured him up.
Yeah.
And you know when he raptured him up?
When, you said?
Yeah.
When?
It's important. It was important right before the flood.
Oh, wow.
Before destruction came. Think about that one. Okay? Before destruction came. Zapped him up, took him alive. Elijah in a chariot of fire, prophet.
Another one alive.
Another one alive. Now Moses is different. Moses did die at the age of 120 years old.
Wow.
Now, don't ever think that you're too old, because God called Moses at 80 years old to go to Egypt, to go talk to the most powerful man in the world, Pharaoh, and say, let my people go. And he did it. 40 years in the wilderness, and he never got to enter. He died. And God hid his body, took his body, but he did die, took his body. And why did he take his body? Satan and the angels fought over that body. Now, I'm not trying to go there. You guys could read that yourselves. So these are the three possible people that can be two possible witnesses. People think Enoch and Elijah. Some people say Moses and Elijah, and I'll explain why as we read. Verse 1, and once again, this is something that we call during the 7-year tribulation. 7 years of a peace treaty that we said that this Antichrist will make with the nation of Israel, because there's never been peace there. So he is going to bring the peace, and he's going to sign a peace treaty with them, and eventually we'll get to Daniel. So verse 1, then I was given a reed like a measuring rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of God and the altar and those who worship there. But leave out the court which is inside the temple, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the Gentiles. And they will tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months, 3.5 years. And I will give power to those 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth and ashes. Okay. Now, the reason a lot of you guys probably won't understand the verbiage of a little bit of that first couple of verses is because it's talking about the dimensions of the temple, or the dimensions of the tabernacle. They had an outer court, inner court, holy of holies. That's a whole different other study, and this is why I didn't want to tackle this subject. Okay, because it's a lot. Okay, these have power to shut down heaven so that no rain falls in the days of their prophecy. And they will pour over water. They have power over waters to turn them to blood. Who turned water into blood?
Jesus.
Water into wine.
Oh, yeah.
Moses turned the water into blood.
Yes.
That's why many people think, because of these signs, one of them most likely has to be Moses. Okay? And they strike the earth with plagues. Who used the rod and prayed to strike Egypt with plagues? Moses did. 10 plagues destroyed Egypt, as so often as they desire. Okay? Now, this is the important part, guys. The witness is killed, okay? This verse 7, when they finish their testimony after the 3.5 years, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit will make war against them, overcome them, and kill them. Now, this is important. And their bodies will lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Where was he crucified?
Golgotha?
In Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Okay. What are they calling it here? Spiritually, Sodom and Egypt. Okay. Now let's put up the picture of the 2 witnesses. Take that one down, and then there you go. Okay. When you get a chance, take the other one down. It says, now this is important, guys, and I need you guys to understand this, because this is where John talked about technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least, yeah, I think.
Verse 8, and their bodies will lie in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Then those from the peoples, tribes, tongues, and nations will see their dead bodies 3.5 days, and not allow their dead bodies to be put into the graves. Now, I'm going to ask you something. Right here, he said, those from the peoples, tribes, tongues, nations, the whole world.
The world will see.
How would they be able to see their bodies for 3.5 days?
That's what John was trying to explain.
Yes.
He was trying to explain what he saw. I think 100 years ago, people would have still been speculating this. Today, I think because everyone has cell phones, technology, cameras, live streams, I think that's how these bodies will be seen.
You don't believe me? I'm going to prove it to you guys right now. Overnight, in seconds, Charlie Kirk's death went global.
Oh, it was everywhere.
Global.
You couldn't scroll without seeing it.
So this is now possible.
100%.
Where their bodies will lay on the streets for 3.5 days, and the whole world will see it. The technology is here. We are living in those times. Now, if you don't think that's freaky,
That freaks me out.
okay, for us to be able to sit here in front of 3 cameras, looking at ourselves on the screen right here, and we got at least 500 people watching, it is possible. Now, either John was a good guesser, or he knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah, he saw something and tried to explain it the best he could.
The best he could. Let's move on. So the Antichrist will have them killed, and he would not allow their bodies to be put into graves. Now, why? He wanted to make an example that anybody that preaches like this, the same thing's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
Okay? He wanted to make them an example. Go ahead, leave them there. You talk like that, you preach like that. In other words, you trouble the people.
Yeah.
You trouble the people. This is what's going to happen to you. There's a lot of preachers out there that ain't troubling nobody.
Yep.
Too busy talking about give me $2,000 in the offering, parking their Rolls Royce inside the church.
Dude, you saw that?
Yes.
That was crazy.
Look, man. Let me stop.
No, I don't think so. You saw that too?
Okay, verse 19. Is it verse 19?
No.
I'm sorry, verse 10.
Yeah.
And those who dwell on the earth will rejoice over them. Now, those are who?
That
on
dwell
the
on
earth.
the earth.
Will rejoice over them, make merry, and send gifts to one another, because these two prophets tormented those who dwell on the earth. Tormented them. I'm going to ask you this. Weren't people celebrating and dancing when Charlie Kirk was killed?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Okay, we'll leave that at that. Okay?
Yep. Make merry and send gifts to one another. Think about that.
Yes.
Hey, did you hear? Cheers.
Cheers.
They killed them.
They killed them.
That's crazy.
Make fun of them, and they're laughing and looking at their bodies. Okay? This poor man who was just killed at a school, people were making memes of him. And then recently at a No Kings protest, this Mexican lady in Chicago, I believe she was Mexican,
Pointing at her neck.
the same thing's going to happen to you.
Oh, yeah.
And holding, I believe, a Mexican flag.
It's demonic.
Okay, now verse 11. Now after the 3.5 days, the breath of life from God entered them, and they stood on their feet, and great, what?
Fear.
Fear fell on those who saw them. And they heard a loud voice from heaven saying to them, come up here. And they ascended to heaven in the cloud. Okay, in the cloud. And their enemies saw them. The enemies, think about that. In the same hour, there was a great earthquake, and a tenth of the city fell. And the earthquake, 7,000 people were killed. It even gives an exact number.
Wow.
Okay. And the rest were afraid and gave glory to God.
How quickly they change, huh? As soon as it gets real, dude. As soon as it's offline and they can witness it.
Before the 1900s, we were still traveling at the speed of horseback.
Yeah.
And within 100 years, look how.
Technology boom. And it only gets crazier.
In the book of Daniel, okay, I'm going to tell you guys. This is the stuff that convinced me. It said, in the last days, the knowledge of man shall increase. Look what happened within the last 100 years.
Oh, yeah. Fast.
In the last days, the knowledge of man shall increase. Now, I'm kind of working backwards here. Read me Daniel 9, verse 7. Daniel was a prophet. And here he talks about this person that's going to make a deal with Israel for 7 years.
Daniel 9 verse
27. Read it all.
Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week, but in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abominations shall be one who makes desolate, even until the consummation which is determined is poured out on the desolate.
Okay, so he makes a covenant for 1 week. How many days are in a week?
7.
7 years. Okay, and he says, and in the middle,
3.5.
3.5, 42 months, he breaks the covenant. So for those first 3.5 years, those witnesses will tell everyone what tribe they're from. They'll build a temple. In the middle of that 7 years, this anti-Messiah breaks the covenant, walks into the temple that's built, and proclaims himself to be God.
So he wants the temple built.
Yes, he's the one that's going to allow it.
He needs it.
Now somebody may say, okay, Tony, why haven't they started building the temple? Give you guys a little background. There's a book you guys can look up. It's called Ready to Rebuild by Thomas Ice and a guy named Randall Price. I met them both in the early 90s. I still have the book. And in the 90s, they had already, I believe that in the 90s, they had already, or it could be late 80s, laid a cornerstone that they were going to start building their temple. But since nobody knows what tribe they're from, only the Levites can serve in the temple. Now, they already have all the utensils and everything for them to start sacrificing.
The Levites are the priests.
Thank you. And since nobody knows, and when this tribulation time starts, or this time of peace starts, that's when these two witnesses arrive. Now, somebody may say, well, where are the two witnesses? When are they going to come? What's holding the anti-Messiah from coming? This is a lot to unpack, so please bear with me. And everything I say, please do not believe me. Do your own research, please. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you why the Antichrist cannot take center stage. The church is still here.
Elaborate. What do you mean?
Okay. I'm going to ask something funny that may seem funny to you guys. Somebody asked, Tony, how long are the last days supposed to last? That's a good one, huh?
It is.
Paul said, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Okay? Again, I don't want to get into the teaching, but there's a time that God gave all non-Jews.
No, a Gentile is a non-Jew.
A time to get right. When he closes that door and says, it's time. Now, many people believe in a rapture. Okay? Being caught up. The word rapture does not appear in the Bible, but the Greek word, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, raptuda, is the catching away or the snatching away. Okay? Just like Enoch was snatched away before destruction came, many people believe the church will be snatched away before the 7 years.
Oh,
now, but even the church messed that up. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's the tribulation. 7 years, the beginning and the end. In the beginning, there's Christians that believe I'm a pre-tribulation rapture believer. Here's the middle. I'm a mid-trib rapture believer.
Okay.
Here's the end. I'm a post-trib rapture believer. Some believe they're going to go through. Some believe they're not. Some people say there is no rapture. Nevertheless, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, this is going to happen. Okay. So this is what I believe has divided the church, certain interpretations. Okay. And they just miss it up. Don't add or take away from it. Let the scriptures mean what it says and say what it means. Okay.
Yeah.
So now when all of this takes place, for those last 3.5 years, all hell is going to break loose. Plagues are going to be released on the earth.
Yeah.
And it says for those 3.5 years, the world will turn against Israel. The entire world. And let me tell you something.
They're doing a good job.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
Israel's doing a great job at getting people to hate them.
It's true.
That's just the reality of it.
It's true. Now, this could not have happened. These could not have happened until Israel was back where it belonged. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to be controversial here, but when people say give these people back their land, they're where they're supposed to be to fulfill this.
Not that controversial, in my opinion.
Let me say it again. They're where they're supposed to be for this to be fulfilled. Now, when the whole world turns against them, that's when the Messiah comes back.
Seems like a fast track to that right now. I'm not even kidding. They're wilding out, in my opinion.
Now, I want to say this to you guys. You guys don't have to believe anything I say. As a matter of fact, some of you guys are probably saying, well, that's your interpretation. I didn't interpret anything. I just read it.
Yeah.
I didn't interpret anything. I just read it. Okay. Well, Tony, why don't they build the temple right now? She says, you said there was a book and they already laid a cornerstone. Let's bring up what's there right now, Alex.
Get ready for this one. This is the stuff that I was itching to talk about last.
Yeah. No, the dome.
Yeah.
The dome, not the last one, bro. Okay. That's what's there. That's the Dome of the Rock. Now that's a shrine for religious Muslims to go there and
For Islam.
to go and worship and pray and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm correct, there's two. That's a shrine, but there's also a temple built on the grounds where the Jewish people had their temple. Okay. You just can't go and knock on the mosque. Hey, can you guys move your mosque?
Not with that religion. That's for damn sure.
You can't. Okay. So that was built on the grounds of once the temple once stood. Now, what temple are you talking about? I'll just give you guys info. You guys look it up. I don't have time. Herod renovated the second temple that was in Jerusalem. Okay. The disciples were so happy to show it off because it was the most beautiful temple in the world. Okay. They were pretty much saying in Matthew 24, Jesus, what do you think about the temple, man? You know, it's amazing, isn't it? And he said, not one stone will be left upon another.
Yeah.
You don't tell a Jewish man that after there were 70 years in captivity in Babylon, when they failed to listen to Jeremiah because they turned to idolatry and their temple was destroyed. Okay. This is the second temple. And Jesus told them, not one stone will be left upon another. You can go to Israel today and still see the ruins. We'll get to that.
What is, just for layman's, what does it mean by not one stone will be left upon another?
That it was going to be brought down. It was going to be destroyed.
Destroyed again.
But then he looked at them and said, destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise it.
Yeah.
And I mean this in a good way. The audacity.
That's gangster, dude.
Okay. So it's destroyed. So when people say, no, it was in Utah or it was over here, the ruins are still there, pal. Now, somebody may say, well, you know, I mean, okay, let's go a little bit deeper. That's what's on the Alaska Mosque. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And in this shrine, the Dome of the Rock. Now, I need to stop right there before you get ready to put the next one up when I tell you. I believe it's in this shrine. There's a big old, like, piece of rock or, I don't want to use the word concrete, but stone there. That's where they believe that Muhammad and his flying horse went up to heaven. So they worship that rock because that's where they believe. But that's not the kicker. Ask me what Muhammad's horse's name was.
Hey, Tony. What was the name of the horse Muhammad rode?
Barack.
Barack?
Barack.
Like of our 8-year president?
Look it up.
Wow.
Okay. And where did they build that? On the Temple Mount, where the temple once stood. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so that's an aerial view. If you can kind of see where the if you will, the wall was.
It looks like in between the shrubbery right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Can they see your mouse? No, okay. No, it's okay. But you see the walls, and then in the middle, you see
the mosque.
The shrine.
The shrine, yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. You see the line going around.
Yeah.
Okay. The Alaska Mosque is right here. You see the little black name, and then the Dome of the Rock. All of that was built. Do you think that's by coincidence?
No. Not at all.
So people ask, how come they haven't built? Because that's there. Well, how is it going to take place? You know what's going to happen? Somebody that's going to come and bring peace. Can we all just get along?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what they're going to do? Okay.
Go ahead.
No problem.
Build your temple, you think that's what's going to happen?
Yeah, build your temple. Okay. And you know who's going to trouble them? Those two witnesses.
Yeah.
These people tormented the world for 3.5 years. Okay.
Yeah, torment's such a strong word. It's from the perspective of the people that hate him, though. They call it torment.
Yes. Okay.
That hate the
So
two
now
witnesses.
we're going to go to the west side, and we're going to see where, let me see, put this over here. We're going to see where the Wailing Wall is at. Let's go to the next one. This is important. Okay, that's the Temple Mount. Okay, look at where the Dome of the Rock, and that's the western wall. That's one wall that's still left up there that used to surround the temple. So when people try to tell you, Well, you know what? We can't prove that it's there, bro. Okay? So that's the Wailing Wall where the Jews go and they pray and they put little notes in there. Because, okay, can we go to the next one? I think we have one with the Wailing Wall. No. You know what? No, I think that was it then.
Yeah, I think that was.
Okay, let's go back to it. Well, let's go back to that one. Yeah, that's the Western Wall. No, the one after that. That one. That's what you can see it right here, right under the Dome of the Rock. That's where they go and pray. You know that was the closest site to where on the other side the Ark of the Covenant was.
Really?
Yeah, so that's why they pray there, because that's where it once was. Okay, because a lot of people don't know, why do they pray? Okay, why do they pray there? The Ark of the Covenant, once again, if you guys seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, that's the best visual that I can give you right now, because I don't have the picture for it, even though you guys can Google it. Ark of the Covenant. Okay, now people may say, how come the Jewish people have not made sacrifices every year? How come they haven't burned the red heifer? How come they haven't done any of that? They don't know who the Levites are. They don't have a temple.
And they need the temple to make the sacrifice.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. But bring one of those up. We'll wait. Okay. We're going to bring up Ark of the Covenant.
And the Ark of the Covenant is what held God. It held the presence of God.
I'll explain that right now.
Yeah.
Let's get the picture when you can. There you go.
Looks nice.
Yeah. Now, the dimensions are in the scriptures on the book of Exodus when God told Moses to build it out of solid gold. Okay. The two angels on top, those are the cherubims. Those aren't just regular angels. They're cherubims. Okay. Inside the ark, when you take off the lid, okay, had the broken tablets that Moses, when God gave them to Moses and he came down from Mount Sinai, he saw that the children of Israel fell into idolatry. They couldn't wait 40 days that they built a golden calf. He threw them down. He picked them up, put them inside there. Then inside there's a bowl of manna, of seed or bread that would fall down from heaven. For those of you guys that want a better picture of what that was like, it looked like coriander seed. For those of you guys que hablan español, se miraba como la semilla de cilantro. Okay? And what they would do, they would grind them up, add water, make cakes, make pitas, whatever. But that's what they ate. That was bread that came down from heaven.
Was it mostly unleavened?
It had to be unleavened.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the next one was Aaron's rod. So Aaron's rod was in there that created all these miracles. They belonged to him, the high priest, the bowl of manna, and then the broken tablets. That what was in there. Every year, the presence of God will come down between those two wings, and the only person that could be in there will be a high priest. Okay, that's a picture of what was inside the tablets, but they were broken. Aaron's rod that budded an almond. In other words, it bore fruit.
Yeah.
Okay, and the manna.
High priest, which is a Levite.
A Levite, and only a Levite could enter. Okay. Now, I know I'm kind of going fast. Please bear with me. On his plate, he wore a plate with 12 stones, each stone representing each tribe. And they were all different colors. It had a diamond, it had a carbuncle, it had beryl, it had gold, everything, okay? And according to some Jewish scholars, they believe that when the presence of God came down, that was the only light in that room.
Wow.
So you know what would happen? That light would shine upon the breastplate and it would light up the whole
It would
room.
illuminate everything. Wow. That's cool.
Huh?
Yeah.
And he will pour the blood of the lamb over the seed, and if God accepted it, their sins were forgiven.
For 1 year.
The next year, you got to do it all over again.
Correct.
I said that to say this, that they have not been able to sacrifice since 70 AD.
Yep. So they're yeah. I know. Yeah.
Now, Tony, how in the hell do you know this? I studied. I took time, and I once told a friend this. And I mean this in the most humbly manner, okay? If you want to be great, you got to be amongst the greats. You got to be amongst the greats. Let me give you guys an example. If you want to be a great mechanic, you got to be around great mechanics, bro.
Yeah.
If you want to be a great speaker, you got to be around great speakers. They can give you things that I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, if I want to be a great producer, great DJ, great whatever, I got to be amongst the greats. You know what? And thank God I have been around the greats.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, you have to. So you know what I did? I found people that knew this stuff, and I hung around with them. I wanted to learn. And then you know what I did in my 20s when I found out this guy was ex-Mormon? Why are you an ex? Why are you an ex-Jehovah? Why are you an ex-Muslim? Why are you with it? If you want to know the truth about religion, ask the people that were once in it. Not the people that are in it. The people that were once in it will tell you the truth. Okay?
There's a saying that, speaking about being around the greats, and I teach my kids this: if you're the smartest person in the room, walk out.
Now, let me answer this. If you had an opportunity to wrestle or learn from the Gracies,
Yeah, I would love that.
now you could say, I learned from the greats.
Yeah.
Okay. Until then, let's just be honest. You may just be a mediocre.
Yeah, and that's why, like, just to further expand on that, in jiu-jitsu, it's more less now, but before, you wanted to know where your coach's belt came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, who gave you your black belt? Oh, it was this person. And who gave him their black belt? Oh, it was Helio Gracie, the first guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how you kept
it passed down.
Quote unquote pure, I guess you can say.
Yes. Okay, now we're going to get into the 666 in the Greek.
Okay.
Let's go to our first one. Since this book was written in Greek, we got to look into it in Greek. This is where it gets a little bit more freakier, guys.
It does.
Okay. Yeah, it was past the two witnesses. Okay, that's the first one. Leave it right there. Okay, if you can kind of fix that so you...
You got to block my face to make it larger.
Okay, the left right there, 666 Codex Vaticanus. Okay, 19th century. This was 4th century manuscript. Okay, it says AD. Is that 30? It's small right here. So, Alex, is that a 30? AD on the left one.
It's within the picture. 80.
Oh, 350. Yeah. Okay, yeah, 350. Okay. AD 350. That's what it looks like in the Greek 666. When it's written out, when it's typed out, if you will, when it's in the actual manuscripts, here we have it, the 19th century 666. So it is G key stigma. Okay? 666. Now, let me go back to Revelation 14, because this is important, okay? I'm sorry, 13. Let's go back, Rick.
Revelation 14?
Yeah.
You were on verse 10 last, I believe. Or
yeah. But it's important that... so I said 13.
13.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the beast from the sea.
Yes, okay.
Beast from the earth.
Okay, this is important, guys, that you guys look at this. Okay, and let's go to verse 14. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast. So this is the false prophet, once again, doing signs in front of the Antichrist to deceive the whole world, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. So let's make an image of the Antichrist. Okay, and you got to worship it or else you die. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. So in other words, if you don't worship, you're going to be killed. Okay, and if you don't worship, it says this: he causes all small, both small, great, rich, and poor, free, and slave to receive a mark on their right hand, is what we're talking about, or on their foreheads, that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Then it says, here is wisdom. Here's where you apply wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. So here's what John saw.
Yep.
Okay, this is what John saw. This is very important, guys. He didn't write 666. Throw away those movies from The Omen. This is not what he's talking about. This is what he saw. Go to the next one. Let me explain that. We just saw the Codex Vaticanus. Go back to the Codex one. Right before it. I want you to look at that. Now go back to this one. No, to the lady. Bro, you keep going backwards. Her. Okay, stay right there. Fix it. Okay. That right there spells in the name of Allah. In the name of Allah. Okay. I'm going to need you to get out of there, Alex. I'm going to need you to switch pictures. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. You could get rid of the Codex one. We're going to move some things around. And this is what I believe John saw. Keep in mind, he tried to write it to the best of his ability. And it says, here is wisdom. Calculate the name or the number. What is the number of man? 666. Go to the next one. Delete that one. Center that one. On the top, it says, in the name of Allah. The bottom one, the Greek number is 666. All I'm going to say is this, Rick. Is it possible that this is what he saw?
Yeah, considering the religion of Islam didn't come about until 700 years.
The Quran was written 500 years after Muhammad passed away.
Hundreds of years after. So, of course, and he's seeing thousands of years into the future.
Yes.
So he's just writing what he knows.
Now, I want to say this, and I'm not pointing fingers. You guys could do your own research. I'll read right there where it says, John of Patmos saw and wrote these markings in 70 AD. Okay? Not 70 AD. I should say 95 AD because that's when it was written. 70 AD was when the temple was destroyed. What he seen was foreign to him. He was trying to copy what he'd seen in his visions. So it is possible that when the translator saw that, oh, that just means 666.
Yeah, it just looks like, yeah.
So when I talked to this ex-Muslim man and he told me, I can tell you where to find in the name of Allah in the scriptures. And I was like, wait a minute, is this guy back to being a Muslim? And he read the scriptures to me from his Arabic book, from Arabic Bible.
Really?
Yes. He understood the language. He said, so when I saw it in Greek, I knew exactly what it was. Now, I'm just going to say this. Can it possibly be that's what John saw?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the fastest growing enforced religion in the world? It is Islam.
Islam.
In the book of Revelation, it says that people will be beheaded because of their faith. There's only one religion in the world that still beheads people, that still lives by the sword.
That's, yeah. They live via holy war because they believe everyone outside of them is evil and should be destroyed.
In 10 years, they predicted that all of Europe will be Islamic.
And what happens when the UK starts letting in a bunch of refugees that are Muslim? Now the UK is unrecognizable.
Yes.
And you know what happens? What happens is they start growing up. They have children. They populate more than modern day people, I guess you can say, because of the ideologies of people today. And they grow up in politics. They get seated in politics. And then next thing you know, you're run by a Islamic nation that has nukes.
I don't have nothing else to say, bro. I try to keep it as shallow as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we take calls or should we just end it right there?
Yeah, whatever works.
What do you think, Alex? Okay, let's take some calls, guys. Okay, let's take that down now. Look, guys, I didn't want to do this because I don't want nobody calling and arguing with me. I'm not going to argue with you. I will hear you out. But keep in mind, I didn't interpret anything. I just read it. Okay? So if you're going to call. We're not going to argue. Okay? We're supposed to be having fun.
It's freaky.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I didn't want to do this. So let me go ahead and, turn this Bluetooth on. Roadcaster. Okay. Tell me when I'm on. Okay. All right. Caesar from Paris, no calling and yelling today, bro. Please. Call in and give us your 2 cents. But I know you talked about the 4 horsemen last time. We're going to take a few calls, guys, because it's getting kind of late and he has to go to work tomorrow. So we'll just take a few phone calls. So let's go. The phone number is up. Yeah, 323-659-1850. 323-659-1850. Maybe you guys are still in shock and you guys are like, what the hell did they just talk about?
Tripping out on.
So, all right, come on, guys. If nobody calls, then you know what? I'll end it. I'm cool. So.
Nobody?
You know what it is? I just don't think that they know what to ask.
Well, that, and it's just easier to
if you got
to use your thumbs.
Here we go. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Edgar, Compton, California.
Hey, did you say Andrew?
Edgar.
Edgar, how are you?
I'm good, bro. Thank you.
Oh, good. Did you have a question or you want to share a freaky story?
No, I just had a question.
Yeah. Go for it.
So the question is, oh, you want to know the question?
No, you didn't ask. No, yeah. What's the question?
Oh, the question is, I just wanted to know if Tony G is he a Christian?
I don't know. I've never asked a man.
This is my question. Is he a Christian, and what gives him the authority to teach what he's teaching? That's all.
Tony G?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't asked him. I didn't know he was teaching. Do you got the right Tony? Hello. He just hung up. I didn't know.
That almost sounded like someone was telling him what to ask.
323 number, call back if you want to ask. I mean, you're asking me about another person. I don't know. I can't answer for another person.
You know Tony G?
Yeah, Tony Gonzalez. I know him very well. Unless he just thought I was Tony G. And he said, what gives you the authority?
So let's say it's a question for you then. I'll ask it.
Okay. So what is it? What gives me the authority?
The authority to, are you a Christian, and what gives you the authority?
Okay, no, I'm not a Christian. And I can teach whatever I want to. You can't pigeonhole any podcaster from going live and wanting to talk about anything. If I can call up Joe Rogan, hey, Joe Rogan, are you a journalist? No. What gives you the right to talk about journalism?
Yeah. Tony, you can't talk about the Anunnaki.
Yeah. Are you an Anunnaki expert? No. What gives you the authority? So.
It's, yeah.
I hope that kind of answers your question, but I'm not Tony G. I'm Tony A. So, but thank you for calling in. Let's see. Somebody else.
Islam is an Abrahamic monotheistic religion based on the Quran.
Here we go, right here. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
It was Carlos from Anaheim.
From where?
From Anaheim.
Oh, what's up, Carlos from Anaheim? How are you?
Good. Just listening to you to the podcast. But one of the things that I just wanted to kind of point out, for example, for people that don't know about the Bible, they lean into the Illuminati and all that, right? Like they get hold of it and the one world government and everything. And then when you talk to them, you're like, you do know that it does talk about that in the Bible, right? Like for people that know about the Bible, like how you speak about revelations and everything, like you do know certain things have to happen beforehand.
Absolutely.
But one thing that I did catch when you were saying that one religion has grown up the most in certain, like, has
Surpassed the Catholic
one
Church.
religion has come up. Yeah, but you know what? To be honest, dude, think about it like this. I think about it like this. My point of view. I love history and I see history. Dude, Catholicism, Christianity, how you see it both ways, have they not destroyed every indigenous population, pushing Christianity down our throats?
Mm-hmm.
Even till today, Mexico is 90% Christianity, Catholicism. You're talking about Muslims, I'm going to say it like that, in just one section. Dude, they have pushed everything. Look at the Spanish Inquisition. And you kind of want to, in a way, I understand when you say, like, oh, look at one religion that has grown the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say, like, have they caught up? Because when you think about every other conquest, the cross has been pushed on so many different ethnicities, indigenous people, not Muslim. Christianity has been put down our throats.
Mm-hmm.
Now that even me, myself, I believe in the Bible, I believe in everything, but to me, that statement is like, well, bro, when I see it, I'm like, well, yes and no, because I'm not Muslim, but I know I got pushed Christianity on me.
Right.
I believe in God. I believe in a lot of things.
Then you're on the right path.
How you mentioned earlier on, you have the chosen people. But when you talk about that certain state, they're not even the original Jews. They're European. And then to say that there's a chosen people, what about us? That we believe in Christ. I wasn't born in Jerusalem. Does that not make me like saved if I believe in Christ or Yahweh or like it's a whole different segment that I feel like the deep conversation, like how you say it's a very controversial conversation. But I feel like when people look into it, you'll see many different ways. But me personally, I'm like, nah, dude. Like me, that I believe in history, I'm like, dude, look when the first crusade went into Jerusalem, they massacred everyone, Christians and Muslims. And when the Muslims took over, they didn't do the same thing as us.
Right. But what's your question?
Us as like as a Christian.
Right. What was your question though?
Just well, not even a question, just to contradict what you were saying earlier. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what.
Okay. Now, please keep in mind that when I was reading Revelation chapter 14, that's a future event where 144,000 people were going to be sealed. That's a future event. I'm not saying it now. I'm not saying that the people that live right now in Israel are living right or doing right. No, I mean, as a matter of fact, it tells us that the whole world was going to turn against them. Why? That's really what I was saying. It's still a future event. Now, when
yeah, for sure.
That's it, my bro. So thank you for calling in, bro, and being a part of the show, and thank you for sharing that, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's always a conversation, you know.
All good, my bro. Thank you.
Man.
All right, peace. Bye. Now, I do want to say that I don't consider the Crusaders Christians.
Yeah, and there's a lot of history to that.
So,
but that's
anybody that kills anybody in the name of God is not a believer in God, bro.
I agree.
So I don't care when it happened. You don't go around killing people in the name of God, like throughout time. If you look at the story of David, if you look at the story of King Saul, throughout time, God dealt with man differently. Today we don't do that.
And he's half right. The Crusades did happen, but that was after. And it's not a justification. It's just we're talking about history, which he says he loves.
Right.
It happened after like 700 years of being ruled by Islam.
Yes. Okay. But if we're not going to take calls, bro, we're not going to wait around for somebody just to kind of like dig something up. I see people on the live chat are having fun. Alex, do we have anything over there? But you can't even read it though, huh? But do we have anything though or no? Okay, I kind of heard you.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody dropped $2. Thank you for that. So look, let's just get out of here with this. But we can go ahead and take these off. Okay. Now, I do want to say this, that part of the reason why I wanted to stray away from the Antichrist, because it talks about future events. It talks about a certain group of people. And these are the group of people right now that people can't stand, which is the Jewish people. There are podcasts right now that's all they do. That's all they do is talk about the Jewish people, the Jewish people, the Jewish people. Let me explain something. When we say the Jews are the chosen people, God chose one man by the name of Abraham, and this is just an extra for you guys, okay? God chose. Hold on one second. Let me get this out of here. Let me close my this. Chose one man from the Ur of the Chaldeans named Abraham, and he was the very first Hebrew.
Yeah.
And he said, from him, the nations, I'm going to make you a great nation. Started with one man. He could have chosen the Babylonians. He could have chosen the Greeks. Could have chosen the Romans. Could have chosen anybody. But he started with one man. And then from there, he had Isaac. And then from there, he had Jacob, who surnamed eventually Israel. The 12 tribes came from there. That's how it all started. Now, when it says chosen, it doesn't mean that they're better than. I need to clear that up. I can't sit next to the Jews and say, he's better than me. No, he just chose that bloodline to bring the Messiah.
Exactly.
That's all that means.
Yes.
That's all. It doesn't mean that guy is better than me.
Correct.
Okay, so I wasn't saying the chosen people, when I did say that, is that he chose those 144,000 in chapter 14 in that future specific time and event, which still has to happen.
Yes.
And that's it. And they're going to be 12 from each tribe.
So for the chat that's trying to figure out if they can too still be saved because they're not a Jew. Yes, you can. The Bible talks about how you're grafted into the same olive tree.
Yes, but that's not a freaky enough. So
no.
Okay, you guys, listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Much love and respect to you guys. We're going to try to go live on Sunday if I'm back on time, but I won't be here Friday. So we'll try to go back Sunday. God, my head is everywhere. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. It was all love. Like I said, this is something that I did not want to touch because it could be controversial and some people can get their panties in a bunch.
It's happening.
Okay. I get it. I understand that. But Rick, is there anything you want to say?
No, I enjoyed that, Tony. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Oh, good. I appreciate you guys. I want to thank everybody in the live chat and super chat. Whoever didn't give, the callers, everybody who liked, comment, subscribed, everybody. Much love. We'll get back to the freaky stuff. I'm not even going to ask for a part 3. Okay, because like the last thing that I want is you guys mad at me because I read something. Okay, again, for those of you guys that are upset, if the Bible's a lie, why are you mad? Okay, so I mean, if it's just a book like Candy Hat, why are they trying to ban it?
Yeah, it rhymes.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we're out of here. Expect the unexpected, and what was it? What was that line that Elvira used to say? Unpleasant dreams. Take us away.